one that really struck a chord with me this week. It says, "The Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing." I'm sure many of you would share with me the sentiment of what a week this has been. I have to admit that the sermon title of "The Heart Beats Faster," entering into our third week of Advent, the week of joy, I had prepared an upbeat sermon on the joy we receive through the coming of Christ. However, with the news stretching from shore to shore across our country this week, my heart was beating a little faster, but it definitely was not with joy. In case you missed the breaking news this week, and there was a lot of it, there was a solid theme, which I would say revolves around evil across our land. On Tuesday, a masked man ran through Macy's in an Oregon mall and into the food court and started firing aimlessly into the crowd. He killed 2 people and wounded others. In the very early mornings of Friday, an 18-year-old boy was arrested in Oklahoma at his home for plotting to trap fellow students in the school auditorium for assassination-like murders. He was caught ahead of time because he tried to recruit other classmates, schoolmates, to help him carry out his plan. Then only a few hours later, the horrifying news that we heard in Newtown, Connecticut, where a disturbed young man forces himself into an elementary school to kill 20 children and 6 adults. All because of some disagreement that he had with the principal and several of the teachers the day before. So where are we supposed to find joy when we are bombarded with such evil in our daily lives? The lives of these 3 young men who carried out these horrific acts is minimally known. We do not know this young man, or we do know that this young man in Connecticut was from a split family. And it's starting to come out that he suffered from a personality disorder. But we don't know much else. Very little is known about the others, other than the fact that both of them were quiet and quite intelligent. What we do not hear about through any of this information is where were they in their faith journey, in their upbringing. Had they been brought up understanding the morals and the values that God has placed on life and respect? As John was traveling across the countryside preaching God's love and baptizing with water for the coming of Christ, he shared with those who were receiving the good news, and he taught the meaning of living a life worthy of God's love. And the people came to him and said, "Well, what should we do?" And John answered, "The man with 2 tunics should go share with him who has none. The one who has food should do the same." Tax collectors also came to be baptized. "Teacher, what should we do?" "Don't collect any more than you are required to." And the soldiers asked him, "What about us?" "Don't extort money. Don't falsely accuse. Be content." For many of us, these seem like common sense answers to a question that we probably wouldn't ask. What should we do? For many of us, we have grown up in the values and the morals that God has given through His commandments, laid out through Moses. Unfortunately, though, many across our country and in our communities have not had this basis shared with them. They've grown up and been exposed as the billboard outside the Lincoln Tunnel in New York proclaims, "You know it's a mess." This season, celebrate reason. The fact rests in that more families across this nation are losing their faith commitments and bringing up their children in the faith of God. They are hinging the lives of their children and their communities around areas of other interests and have given up on the teachings of God and Christ as a foundation for what it means to live a successful and a fruitful life. Many kids are now being taught that in order to be successful, you need to get a good education. You need to find a job that will provide you and your families with a solid, comfortable lifestyle, a lifestyle of luxury. And make sure you do whatever you want to do so that you're happy. But yet, we recall the parable that Jesus shared about the wise man and the foolish man who built their houses. The wise man built on a solid foundation. The foolish man on sand. And when the rains of life poured down upon them, it was the wise man who remained strong and dry, while the foolish man simply watched his life crumble into the sea. To me, that seems to be only too accurate to the possibility of these young men this week. Not only did their lives simply disintegrate for them, but they didn't even have the strength to try and endure it. As two of the three took their lives with the lives that they took, just so they would not have to go through the pain of the responsibility of their actions. One of the fathers who lost his daughter on Friday morning in Connecticut moves us to the joy that we can look towards here in this third week of Advent. Jimmy Green, who lost his daughter Anna, said in an interview, "We are reminded how much we are loved and supported on this earth, and by our Father in heaven." And that's where we can find our joy. It comes through knowing that our Father in heaven loves us so much that He sent Jesus to us, to walk with us, to experience life with us, to feel our frustrations and pains with us, to share in our joys with us, and then to reconcile us to God, with God, for all the times and the things that we daily do that keeps us separated from God. Our joy comes in knowing that God is always with us. Our joy is knowing that our God is a living God, not some fictional myth that we made up to feel good about life, but rather a God who walks alongside us each and every moment of our lives, talking with us and guiding us. God holds our hand like a father walking with his child. He picks us up and comforts us like a mother whose child fell and scraped her knee. God teaches us what it means to live a righteous life, to be a neighbor, to recognize good from evil, to live a life that is successful, even if it isn't based on riches and power, prestige. Rather, a successful life is based on what we do with it, not for ourselves, but for others. You see, the joy we celebrate this time of year comes in the form of a gift. A baby boy who came to save the world. That gift of Jesus' birth is the reason. That gift was not like some of our Christmas Day presents, toys that are broken or missing within a few days. It wasn't like some of our gifts that are nice, but the gift of Jesus doesn't come in wrong sizes or colors. The gift of Jesus was and is the perfect gift from God. It is the gift that brings joy and meaning into our lives. It is the love that is given in each gift that we give. It is the gift that we can build upon as we share with Jesus, with those who need to receive this gift from God and as it is shared with us. See, the Lord your God is with you. He is mighty to save. He will take great delight in you. He will quiet you with his love. He will rejoice over you with singing. To God be the glory, now and forever. Amen. Almighty God, all we can say is thank you. Thank you for the gift that you shared with us so many years ago and continue to share each and every day. Help us to